My name is Jade Wilson. Um, Thinking about a development that made an impact in my life would probably be the death of my dad. Um, a little bit of background before that. I lived in Ireland and I grew up there. I moved to America when I was 10. Um, my dad was kind of out of my life by age 5. Um, he was an alcoholic and he had a lot of issues, so it was a single mom raising me. Um, we then moved to America. My mom thought it would give me a better life. After 2 years here, he actually passed away. I was probably 12 when that happened. And we were just getting a good relationship. I feel like when we lived in Ireland, I wasn't really allowed to see him much due to the alcohol. Um, so when we moved here, I could talk to him on the phone more and talk to him more. So he passed away suddenly of a brain aneurysm. So I think that had a huge impact in my development. And even looking at it before, his presence in my life made a huge impact on my development. His lack of being there, his alcohol, his episodes whenever he would drink, what I would see, I feel like it impacted me huge. And once he passed away, I was in 5th grade, so I felt like that was a very important time frame that kind of set me up socially for the rest of my life. I feel like after his death, I was less social. I was more reserved. I didn't really feel like, I don't know. It's hard to explain. I didn't really want to be social anymore. It wasn't a thing to me. Even now, I'm not social at all. Um, Looking into some research in a study by Mavis um, in the Developmental Psychology journal, the journal article, The Effects of Father Absence on Personality Development Adolescent Daughters. He actually found that females who had a father who was absent due to death led to the child growing up to avoid men more and showed restraint around men. I don't, that really didn't really apply to me. When we moved to America, my mom married my stepdad, and I feel like my stepdad kind of took over from my dad immediately and like was there when my dad wasn't since the age of 5. My stepdad, instilled in me what I deserve from men, and that the absence of my father didn't really pave a path that I had to follow. And going through all these psychology courses, I'm so thankful that he did all that, because looking back at it, I could have ended up a little bit different than I am right now. But I'm thankful my stepdad kind of changed that for me, changed my direction of what I was going in. In middle school, I would bounce around boyfriends a lot, but nothing crazy. I've been with my current boyfriend for 9 years, and I don't avoid him. I tend to get angry with him if he drinks too much, which I think may be a result of my father and what he's gone through. I know what alcoholism looks like, and I know what alcoholics can turn into. So sometimes if my boyfriend drinks too much, it may turn into a fight because I'm being protective. And he has never shown any signs of alcoholism. It's just me being paranoid. And then in another article by Maybeth from the Psychological Bulletin, the article title is Father Absent in Children's Cognitive Development. This one actually applies to me. She found that children who lost their fathers tend to have a higher level of anxiety. I have suffered from anxiety probably since, I don't know, for as long as I can remember. I've been anxious. I tend to internalize a lot of anxiety. I get really sick. I have stomach ulcers from anxiety and stress, and I could see how that was maybe because of his absence and then his death. It kind of gives me a reason or an explanation to where it all came from. My mom is also anxious, but she had a similar background to me. Her father was also an alcoholic. I mean, coming from Ireland, there's a lot of alcoholics in your family, so it's common. But a lot of people I know suffer from anxiety and stress and unhealthy lifestyles because of their parents and their habits. But looking more into that article about anxiety, it kind of helped me realize that I am in control of where I am anxious in life. When he passed away, his funeral, so not only was I going through a change of death and grief, my mom wasn't allowed at the funeral for many different reasons, and I had to be escorted by 5 cops for my protection from his family. So I was going through a lot of different things that 12-year-old shouldn't really have to deal with. I felt like I had to mature a little bit faster during that whole month from when he passed away to when we flew over to Ireland to his funeral, and even beyond that. And I feel like that month alone set up kind of the rest of my life, how I deal with stress and anxiety, which is not very good. I used to have a lot of panic attacks and, stress and anxiety, and be really ill, sick to my stomach. Sometimes if I don't catch my anxiety early on, so like if I have a test coming up and I keep stressing about it and don't do anything to relieve the stress, I'll have a panic attack or I'll get sick to my stomach. But that whole month when he passed away, I feel like that whole ordeal changed me developmentally to be a more anxious person in life and to be more stressful. And I wish that wasn't the case. And I keep pausing because it blows my mind thinking that is what could have caused me right now to be so anxious. I never really thought about it until this class and until we've been, reading in the book about development and all that. So yeah. But I think my stepdad stepping in when he did in my life, it kind of got my development back on track. It couldn't take back the anxiety or stress that I had, but it helped me change my thought process of who I can be in life, what I deserve from a male figure in life, a good support system that I have, that I am worth sticking around, that people don't choose alcohol over me, which also could be due to my, or be the reason for low self-esteem, never feeling worthy enough for my dad to quit drinking, but I'm in substance abuse online right now also, which is also helping me kind of deal with that and see that he couldn't really just give up alcohol for me. But when you're a kid growing up and you constantly see your dad leave and choose alcohol over you, I think that kind of sits in the back of your mind. It was my fault and there's nothing I could do to make him stay, and alcohol is much better than I am. So I do have low self-esteem. I struggle with my body image. And thinking back, that probably may be the only reason I have to do that. No one's ever really done anything to make me feel that way. So maybe the absence of my dad set me up that way and kind of changed my development path to be more self-conscious than normal people. So I think the absence of my dad led to stress, anxiety, low self-esteem, and a lot of different negative things. I think my development path changed a lot when he left and chose alcohol, and then when he passed away again. Not again, but when he passed away, he was permanently absent. So yeah.